Before we jump into the heart of today's hearing, the Military Commissions Act, I just want to note that we have another hearing next week with senior Department of Defense and Department of Justice officials on the administration's overall detainee policy. At that hearing, I look forward to discussing the President's plan for a preventive detention system and the findings of the detainee task force on a detainee policy which, pursuant to the executive order, is due to complete its work next week. In my view, the 2006 MCA was a fair piece of legislation and a product of careful negotiations between the House, Senate, and the previous administration. In that light, I welcome President Obama's decision to use military commissions as a tool for prosecuting those who violate the laws of war. In his speech at the National Archives on May 21st, the President recognized correctly that we are at war with al-Qaeda and its affiliates, and that commissions are an appropriate forum for prosecuting those who violate the laws of war. The President rightly noted that military commissions have a long history of protecting sensitive intelligence sources and methods, while allowing for the introduction of evidence unique to battlefield contingencies. It is worth recalling that the 2006 MCA passed the House and Senate by a comfortable vote with bipartisan support. Yet the 2006 MCA, like any other law, is not perfect and could use improvement, especially now that we have the benefit of seeing the system in practice. I hope that during today's hearing, each of you will share your independent view on the legislation proposed by the Senate Armed Services Committee to amend the 2006 MCA. I understand the committee language is the product of a bipartisan effort and enjoys the support of Senators McKeon and Graham. But I'd like to hear if you have any suggestions or concerns with respect to the proposal and whether you feel there are any steps that Congress should take to ensure we have an effective military commission system. Finally, I'd also like to ask you to hear your thoughts on the administration's proposed changes to the SASC language. After looking at both the Senate and White House proposals, I have a number of questions and concerns I hope you'll be able to address today. My first concern is forum choice. If we're going to utilize the military commissions, we need to ensure that any changes to the framework make the commissions more efficient and bring swift justice to terrorists. While the commissions have only convicted 3 individuals, and at least 19 other detainees have charges currently pending, and at least another 40 could be charged as well, let me be clear on one point. I think we should use the military commissions to try all detainees who have violated the laws of war. I also have grave concerns about the President's preference to use Article III courts to try some of the detainees currently being held at Guantanamo Bay. In my view, trials of terrorists need to stay within the paradigm of armed conflict. The required procedures and rules of evidence in federal courts are not fit for trials in the armed conflict paradigm. Most importantly, prosecuting some detainees in federal courts and others in commissions, in the absence of clear criteria guiding this decision, will lead to the perception that commissions are an inferior system or a kangaroo court. This is an unacceptable outcome and dishonors the uniformed personnel working on military commissions. A related concern that I hope you will discuss is where we intend to hold these commissions. I'd like to know how, if at all, the MCA and rules for military commissions may need to change if the administration decides to hold commissions within the continental United States. I look forward to your testimony and hope that the discussion we have today will help us work with the Senate to improve the 2006 MCA so that the administration will use the MCA framework to bring terrorists to justice.